What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916 getting down with Fresh Out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share the channel. You know, I'm steady lacing you guys up, bringing on guests from all different walks of life. And with your support, we will continue to grow the channel, bringing you the realest, rawest content on YouTube and social media. Now, I got a special guest for you guys here today. I'm here with my man, Avi Deano Shalem. And excuse me if I didn't correctly pronounce it all the way right.
You shot that. That was perfect.
But by his name, you already know to a degree where this man possibly is from. And we're gonna get some get some answers in regards to what's going on with everything that's in the news about Israel. And one of the major questions a lot of you guys have out there, I've seen on social media, a lot of these woke professors and college students running their lips and jaw jacking. Avi, break down, for one, your name, for two, some of the differences that people are blending, not knowing what the distinctions are. Jewish, Judaism, Zionism, Palestine, Hamas. I mean, dude, lace them up, man.
You got that. First of all, big up, Big Herc, for giving me this platform. Appreciate it, family. So, my name is Avi. My stage name is Deano. My last name is Shalem. The first name is actually Avi Noam. It means my dear or my sweet father. My father called me that for his father, who was murdered in the Holocaust. Okay, so that's for my grandpa. My last name, Shalem, it means whole or full family. My father was a stubborn man, and he wanted to show Hitler and those who were bent on our demise, on eradicating the Jews from the world, that we were stubborn, that he would rebuild that which he had lost. 7 brothers and sisters, and both his parents were murdered in the Holocaust. My father escaped from a concentration camp wearing 2 left shoes. He fought his way through the snows of Europe and made it to Israel, which was then under British control. He was considered a terrorist. Now, okay, when we were kicking the British out of our country, we made the British life so miserable because they were colonialists, okay, that they left. The United Nations then decided to give Israel our country back, okay? Israel is the aboriginal homeland of Jews, all right? Always been that way. So 1,000 years before the first Arab, God bless them, they're my Semitic cousins, but 1,000 years before there was an Arab in the world, Jews walked the earth over there, okay? So it's literally our aboriginal homeland. So in 1947, Israel was established as a country. The thought was that the Jews were going to be able to go back home because it was apparent that without our own home, we're always the other. Wherever we are, we're the other. The Holocaust had just happened. 6 million of us were eradicated, okay? So the United Nations decided to make us a country. The day that the UN made us a country, now mind you, in 1947, there's now 9 million Israelis in Israel right now, okay? Out of that 9 million, 2 million are Arabs, Israeli Arabs, okay? Another million are others, Asian and different nationalities. So there's still only 6 million Jews in Israel. Back then there were less, and we were fresh off the Holocaust. The Holocaust literally had just ended, so we were tired. We'd lost everything. We were bedraggled. We had no money. It was World War II, okay? Had just ended, and we put together a few World War I era Cessna airplanes. So we had nothing, okay? The Arabs, they surround us. Their numbers, there's 500 million Arabs. There's 500 million Arabs in the world right now. there's 9 million Jews. So we're literally surrounded by them, okay? The day that we were announced, the Arabs told all the Palestinian people to leave their homes in Israel, to leave their homes, okay? Because we were living side by side with them. They were our neighbors. They were our friends. To leave their homes because they were going to push us into the sea. It was a no-brainer that they were going to win, okay? Leave their homes because we're going to take the whole country back. So they did. So the Arab people left their homes, went over to Egypt and Syria and Jordan and Lebanon, all those countries, right? And they attacked us, okay? We had no bombs, right? We had no bombs. Do you know what a seltzer bottle is? Seltzer water, it's club soda, okay? Back in the day, it was sold in big glass tubes with, like in a bar with a fizz top, highly carbonated, okay? The Arab Legion was massed on our borders. They were literally a cup of coffee away from just walking in. And we had nothing. We had no tanks and stuff. True story. Again, everything I'm going to tell you is fact. You can look everything up. So there was an American who literally donated thousands of seltzer bottles. We put them in the World War I Cessnas and dropped them over the Arab Legion, okay? It was the Egyptians and the Saudi Arabians who were massed right there. Those were the two big primary countries. We dropped them. The clatter of these carbonated glass fizz-top seltzer bottles coming down, the Arabs thought that it was an atomic bomb. Mind you, Hiroshima had just happened, okay? So the Arabs thought that it was an atomic bomb, and there's a famous saying that we have. The only thing you could see was their sandals. They ran out of their sandals as they ran back towards their country. And we won the War of Independence. Why? Because literally, you know, it's easy for people to say, from the river to the sea, and all of that. Okay, the Hamas's charter to this day says they're going to push the Jews into the sea. So for an average Arab soldier, they're just like me and you. The average Arab man wants the same thing. After a hard day's work, he wants to come home and, like Chris Rock says, Daddy just wants a big piece of chicken, right? He works, he wants to he's forced to make a lot of noise about the Jews and Israel. What is some poor working class Arab guy, you know, in a country 3 countries removed from Israel? Really, that's not his issue, okay? So their hearts are not really in it. When the shit comes down, our hearts, we're a tiny little country. Israel is so small. Physically, you can drive all 4 corners of Israel in 11 hours. Okay? All 4, so when they say we're going to push them into the sea, our hearts have to be in it. Because we're literally protecting our mothers, our brothers. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we got to keep it gully at all times.
And what time frame was that when that happened, when they tried to basically push you guys into the sea?
Oh, it's never stopped, okay? But literally, the whole Palestinian refugee thing happened, okay? The War of Independence happened in 1947, okay? There were, first of all, most Palestinians, really, to keep it 100% technical, there's a country called Jordan, Transjordan. That's really the Palestinian homeland, literally, okay? But that's another issue. So in 1947, they all left their homes, because Nasser, who was the head of what was called the Arab Legion, okay? He was the spokesperson for all the Arab countries who had decided it was a walk in the park. It was a no-brainer that they were going to destroy us. So it was easy for them to tell Palestinian people, leave your home, leave from over there. Join us, because we're going to take the whole country. You're going to have the whole country. They lost. Man, they've been crying about that ever since then. They call that the tragedy, the Nakba. That's what they call it. The War of Independence, the Arabs, they call it the tragedy. in every Arab, the Nakba, because it was inconceivable that they would lose, but they lost. Then after that, man, there have been wars. I am 57 years old. This is the fourth war in my lifetime. In my lifetime, okay?
So for those, like, the breakdown, like, okay, maybe talk about the difference between, like, when somebody says, oh, this guy, Jewish, Judaism, Zionist, Hebrew, break that down for, because people
first
just
of all,
say
Jews,
stuff.
Okay, first of all, let's clarify a couple of things. Jews are a people. We're an ethnic people. We're not a religion. We're a people who primarily identify with the Jewish religion, but not exclusively. You understand? So there's all types of different Jews with different religiosity, okay? But take me. If I happen, just use me. If I'm practicing Buddhism, I'm still a Jewish Buddhist. If I'm an atheist, I'm a Jewish atheist. Look, I'm heavily tattooed, okay? If I want to come back to the mother religion, to Judaism, I don't need permission from anybody, and there's no reconversion ceremony because I'm always going to be a Jewish person. So that's the first thing we have to clarify. The second thing we have to clarify is this false narrative of white European colonialists in Israel. Again, Israel is our aboriginal homeland, like for eons. No one questions Jesus Christ was a Jew, okay, from Israel. So no one questions that. Jews, okay, there's different branches of Judaism. There's Sephardim, which is Spanish Jews, from Spain, Portugal, Brazil, okay? There's Mizrahi, which is Middle Eastern Jews. Because what people don't know is there were as many Arab Jews as there were Israeli Jews, except for all the Arab Jews were kicked out of all their countries when they lost the war in 1947. Okay, so there's Mizrahi, there's African Jews, okay? There's a ton of African Jews from all the African countries, okay? There's Asian Jews. And the primary Jew is an Ashkenazi Jew, which is European. So, through the years, the thousands of years, every time we'd get defeated, because again, we've always been a tiny nation, the Romans, the Greeks, the Muslims, the Ottomans, okay, the British, people would come and take us over, right? And they'd kick us out. We always kept. There's never been a time in history when there weren't at least 500 or 500 Jews living there, but we've been kicked out. So most of the world Jewry ended up in Europe, okay? So the term Ashkenazi Jews, Ashkenazis tend to be like me, pale-skinned. So on a census, a lot of Jews are self-hating or cowards or don't know themselves, but I am not white, I am a Semite. So if you take, there's no such thing as a white Jew, okay? DNA-wise, genetic markers, if you take my DNA, and it doesn't matter if I've been in Europe or in America or in Canada for 10 generations, my DNA does not show as Caucasian, it does not show as white. My DNA markers show as Levant, which means the Middle East region, the biblical, MENA, Middle Eastern North African. I am Middle Eastern North African. Check this out. Why are we a people? Because a black Jew from Africa, okay, a Sephardic Jew from Spain, a Middle Eastern Jew from Syria, okay, and a Jew from Romania all have common DNA markers. All of our DNA shows Levant MENA. So that's science. So nobody sitting here listening to this with your conspiracy theories, don't bother, Jack, because that's a fact, okay? The science is backed by archaeology and anthropology, okay? So my point is this. People use the terms, okay, Israel is run by white European colonialists. No. The colonialists were the Romans who took us over, the Greeks who took us over, the Muslim Arabs who took us over. Certainly the British were colonialists. We cannot be white European colonialists because our origin is Mena, is the aboriginal homeland of Judea, okay? We're not white, we're Semites, okay? So, and we've always been there. So that's our land. Mm-hmm. So you can't call us that. So there was, after that came the 6 Day War, okay, in 1967. I was a year old. The 6 Day War was another tragedy for the Arabs because we always had an unbelievable Air Force. So what we did was, again, they were really pissed off about losing the War of Independence. So again, it was another no-brainer, and they would catch us and, you know, so they were massing, but we beat them to the punch because we took off, and what we did was we bombed all of their fighter planes in all their various countries. There's over 50 Muslim countries in the world, by the way. There's one Jewish country, okay? As a side fact, just want to keep it 100%. So we bombed all their airplanes while they were on the tarmacs. We bombed all the runways so that their planes couldn't take off. So Syria and Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Lebanon and Kuwait, etc., and Iraq, they all lost the ability to use their Air Force. The war was over in 6 days. What happened, brother? What happened? We recouped Jerusalem. So, since the day we recouped Jerusalem, now, again, I'm going to keep it gully. The Muslims, I'm sorry, but a fact is a fact. They just don't have a great history of inclusivity to other religions and other beliefs. They just don't, okay? So no one was allowed at the holiest site in Judaism, which is the Western Wall, okay? King Solomon's Wall, okay? Our temple was there. There's only the Great Western Wall where you see Jews praying to and putting the notes in the wall to this day. The Dome of the Rock, the third holiest site in Islam, where supposedly Muhammad went up, ascended to heaven on his horse, is built on top of our temple, okay? Don't ask me why they put it there, but they put it there, okay? And the holiest site in Christianity and Catholicism is there, the Via Dolorosa, where Christ was walked before he was crucified, where his body was laid out and washed. The Easter Passover meal, actually it was, everything takes place there. So we gained control of Jerusalem. We made it an international city, and to this day, it's wonderful, bro. The three major monotheistic religions, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, okay, all come and worship there freely. I've been to all the sites. I've been to all the Christian sites, to all the Muslim sites.
Okay, now explain Zionism, because I hear that a lot.
So Zionism became a political movement in the 1920s. The shit was starting to hit the fan. There were a few visionary Jews, European Jews, who saw the writing on the wall. No one really listened to them because Jews were too comfortable. Zionism means the return to the homeland, the motherland, Zion. That's simply what it means, Zion, okay? The Zionist movement was conceived by Europeans who then went through the Holocaust. So people like my father realized, oh man, my 7 brothers and sisters and both my parents were just murdered. I'm not doing this again. I'm going back to the motherland. So we did. Except for the British, there was never a Palestine country, people. It never, again, you can become outraged at what I say, but look it up. There was never a country called Palestine. Palestine was a Roman term that the Romans used to piss the Jews off, okay? It literally means Philistine, which literally means Gentile, Okay, so it was
non-Jew.
Yes, so literally the Romans came up, but there was never a country called Palestine. What it was the British had the mandate. They took it from the Turkish. Again, Israel, my Israel is a study in being taken over throughout history. Okay,
so the country of Palestine right now is not. That was never.
No, there's still no country of Palestine because they're idiots and they've turned down 5 peace treaties repeatedly. So there's territories of Palestine. We wish it would be a country of Palestine. We'll get into that because they refuse to. They build terror tunnels, but they don't build bomb shelters. They build terror tunnels, but they don't allow for sanitation workers. They don't allow for, electric workers. They don't allow for, municipality. Okay, so there'd be a country. We wish, if there was a country, then they wouldn't have to come into Israel to work. But they do, because there's no economy there. So every day, okay, how did we get okey-doked? How did we get okey-doked just now on October 7th? Because the Arab workers who every day lined up at those border crossings and came to those checkpoints that are so terrible. Come on, man. Someone can come in with a bomb. You'd be checking them too. So anyway, they gave the most diagrammed, most specific layouts of all the kibbutzes, of all the homes that they worked in. Okay? Because they all had jobs. They were the maintenance people. They were the painters. So they gave Hamas details. Even the people that lived in the Israeli kibbutzes and communities that got overrun, they said, man, I didn't even realize that there was another exit door over here and there was another this over there.
So you said the intel.
Yeah, the intel was given. People say, how did they have that intel? The soldiers, when they would kill a Hamas guy on October 7th, right? They pocket check them, of course. And so there were detailed maps of everything they had. How? Because the workers gave it to them. So anyways, no, there was never a Palestinian country. So the term Palestinian, okay, they came up with it. But again, it's only a recent term. Now, what happened in the beginning? Why this is going on and zero Arab countries have opened up their borders for these people.
We want to get into that. I want to get into that in another video, though.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're getting into some deep conversation. But hey, this is Big Herc 916 getting down with Fresh Out. You know how we do it over here. One man.
Avi Deano Shalem, 1.
There we go.